light every corner. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you ladder. My ego don't come. My people make we shout. My ego don't come. My ego don't come, man of the masses. My ego don't come. My ego die the political. My ego don't come. This one not they off in mind. My ego don't come. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh. Mayegun don't come. My people make you shout. Mayegun don't come. Mayegun don't come, man of the masses. Mayegun don't come.
Hello there.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀, àmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Lórí Facebook.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Bó bá ṣe àní Mayegun.
Take a moment to read the caption of the broadcast, the description of the broadcast, share it. If you are going to be staying with us tonight, like the broadcast, and tell everybody that.
Mayegun diary political. Mayegun diary Godfatherism. Kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ ṣe o kẹ́kọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́nu. Mayegun diary. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary.
Cewa kai ne me gaskiyar lamarin?
To, gaskiyar lamari sojoji na kashe mu yan uwa makiyaya. Sun za ka tambaye su sun sani. Suka je suka kashe mu na makiyaya, suka kashe mu na yan uwa, suka je ga gidaje suka kama kashe mutanen da basu je basu gani ba. Muka je gaya ma wannan kaftin na sabon birni. Tun lokacin ana zaune lafiya suna gaya musu abin da ke faruwa wannan ƙauyen. Sojoji ne an kawo su, sai dai in wannan daga karmamin gona sai su ɗauko mota su je su kama kashe mutane. To shi su zaman su ba 'yan Najeriya suke tsarewa ba. Saboda haka kashewar da muka je muka yi kungiya mu ma muka je muka rawa ma yan uwan.
So ba wai wancan kungiyar yan Boko Haram ba ce ba.
Mu ba mu da kungiyar Boko Haram. Ba mu san kungiyar Boko Haram ba, ma san abin da ake nufi da Boko Haram ba. Ma san shi.
Amma an ce kuna da alaka da su.
To wannan harkar mutane ce hudanda na koshi can cikin AC suna faɗa da suke so. Ba layan mu bane wannan. Mu ba kungiya muke ta addini ba kungiya muke ta neman wani abu ba, kungiya ce muke ta kare yan uwanmu da rayukan su da ake kashewa a Najeriya. Ba mu da wata kungiya wadda muke mara ma baya mu.
Up north of Nigeria, those are the kings, terrorists. They later came back to say they are repentant terrorists too, right? And from my own understanding, the only repentant terrorist is a dead terrorist. Today. So good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. It is Mayegun Live. I don't know if you have come across the trending topic right now. And that trending topic, or should we say trending issue now, is that the Fulani terrorists, they have kidnapped a whole family who are also Muslims, and they demanded for 115 million naira ransom. Now, when they decided to, when they wanted to pay the ransom, they couldn't raise 115 million. So they raised 30 million and decided to take that to them. And the terrorists collected the ransom and they told the people who brought the money where the body of one of the girls was dumped. So this has now triggered the reactions of the Arewas. And when I say Arewa, normally Arewa are supposedly the core Islamic North, okay? And for political gain, these fanatics, these political criminals, they will tell you Arewa is entire northern Nigeria. However, when the killings was going on in Plateau State, in the recent ones, though, not all the past killings, though, because it's the same in the past, though, this was not their reactions, okay? Because even at the time, they decided to change the narratives by telling everyone that the Christians that they murdered in Middle Belt part of Nigeria also killed Fulanis too. These are people who are in their own, in their own ancestral land and villages and communities. So did they travel from their villages and they went to Sokoto to go and kill Fulanis or what? So these were the guys who were doing, they did their best to change the narrative. And today, they are crying. And I am saying, you might have come across it or you probably haven't. So what they are doing right now is to sort of remind everyone or to alert everyone that the insecurity in Nigeria, that over 63,000 people were slaughtered in 8 years under Bokwari. They were in their slumber then. And as some of you probably have been paying attention, or if you haven't, don't worry, I will help you. You have seen their reactions now where they are calling for Tifnumbu, and they are even calling for protests. I support that, by the way. Sure you get. But there is something I need you to know. Their reactions towards this kidnapped family is not totally about the family. Now, for them making it as the contact point of the insecurity in northern Nigeria after 8 murderous years of Bokwari, should kindly tell all of us something. And somebody actually told me that, and they said, Mayegun, these guys just don't like not being in control. I mean, total control. See, today you might be pointing fingers left, right, and center. Why is this one not talking? Why is that one not talking? Why hasn't that one talk? And this blah, blah, blah. If it is about talking, Baba, people have been talking, including the terrorist sympathizers political criminals of northern Nigeria, they too have been talking. But what have they been doing? They have been, in their will, they have been rehabilitating, reharming, and what have you of these terrorists. That's what they have been doing, not what they are saying. And in 8 years, ladies and gentlemen, 8 solid years to speak up, against the killings that has now become, all over the country, was considered as an act against the northern Nigeria. Remember, simply because Bokwari, one of them, was the president of Nigeria, and they have the power. The power is not to keep their people safe. The power is not to lift their people out of poverty. Because if it's about power, they have ruled Nigeria more than any other part of Nigeria in 63 years existence of Nigeria. And when Nigeria popped up on the world map as a terrorist capital in Africa, the region that orchestrated that, funded that, using the same public fund to fund terrorism, is northern Nigeria. When these murderous jihadists started killing Christians en masse, like a full jihad, where over 50,000 Christians were slaughtered in the name of their jihad, when that news popped up all over the world, these criminals were those who put Nigeria on that map. When Nigeria became the poverty capital of the world, where over 60 to 70% of the total, the totally poor number of people in Nigeria domiciled in northern Nigeria, they were those who put Nigeria there too. And they wanted the entire place to be like them. So people said this because they are not in control. So now, protest is no longer around. Now, they are complaining that the southern Nigeria are not raising their voice up or raising their voice enough to speak against the killings in northern Nigeria, Middle Belt, and the rest of Nigeria. We did for 8 years. And they came. Meanwhile, I have a question before I continue. Remember these Muslim tickets? For those of you who have been on Mayegun's Diary Political for a while, you should probably remember, all of the videos of, some of their clerics talking about one Muslim is so good and 2 Muslim is the greatest. And it will help them to advance the cause of Islam in Nigeria. I have the videos. And El Rufaya came out and said they used Muslim tickets to win election. So I want to ask you, you that kind of believed them, apart from other lies you told yourself, okay? I'm talking about those of you who are watching me from northern Nigeria right now. What was your expectation when you believe strongly in that Muslim ticket? Did you believe that Muslim ticket is going to guarantee you safety and terrorism? Because I actually want to know what you expect. There must be something you expect. A lot of you said, I was everywhere, now, and I've been the one keeping record of a lot of your conversations, right? There are so many of you who said that you can never allow infidel to rule you. And that is automatically a no-no for somebody like Peter Obi. So what were your expectation as a Muslim who believed that this must be a blessing? to Nigeria when Muslim come, all right? I don't want you to begin to use your hypocrisy to start giving excuses. So I just want you to be honest with yourself for once. Because there are many of you who did this because it is Muslim. Yes, and you are proud. You are proud to have brought this upon yourself. You lived a life for so long. Now be honest to yourself right now, this hour. What were your expectations? There must be something you expected that convinced you that because they are Muslims and this is Muslim, you don't care what anybody says about them because Islam said blah, 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 blah. And what were your expectations? That there will be no corruption anymore. There will be no terrorism anymore. Well, anyway, I may never get the answer from you. It's all right. The bottom line is that some of them are now coming out to say, this same Arewa people, they were coming out now to say they were scammed with the Muslim tickets. And the question was like, what were you expecting? There must be some certain things that Islam taught you that this guy said they used in getting to you. I think I had there where Rufaya was saying something like that. I'm going to see if I can get that. Let's see.
Or say this kind of thing. I am hoping that this is not a man who has been extremely pretentious, who has been behaving in a way that made everybody believe that he's a different kind of person. So this is not someone that I honestly recognize. It's condemnable. Everything he has said in this video is condemnable. And I'm hoping he will still come out and say it was misinterpreted or that's not what he said. But if this is what he has said, this is condemnable, is despicable, is not acceptable for anybody in public office, anybody outside of public office.
They were accusing Peter Obi of what they are doing. Yeah, they said Peter Obi is the one using religion. I mean, you decided to bring Sheka Boko Haram, Shetima, with Pablo Escobar, the drug dealer, drug baron. And you know that these two are criminals, right? Then you pitted them together. I mean, they pitted them together. And they put them together as a team. And they said, Muslim. And then they turned around. They said, did you not see Peter Obi in church? Telling the church to take back their country. They are the one with Muslim, same religion. No. Now, people are now reacting. Now, for you reacting to say, in this country, with how divided this place is, even though your politician don't get any religion, but there's this mentality that just gives some of them like, I don't even know why, right? But you remember, Sha? Then they started accusing others of what they are doing. Rufaya, Gandola met with all these imams, all these sheikhs in Kano. And he said, this is the fight for the survival of Islam. He said it. That they must do everything to... Then Rufaya came out and he said, we used it. Now, nobody will come out in Nigeria again and try to use religion to stop us from doing what we want to do. Which means, as long as it is Muslim, Christian, Muslim, but you will never have Christian. I mean, you have all that debate at the time. Then above it all, okay, what we now know, say, the criminals who use religion to deceive you, they now have the power. Even though some of them are not even calling the criminals yet. But make I give you some certain explanation as well. Your politicians who claim to be Muslims, they are not, they are criminals. Those who claim to be Christians, they are not, they are criminals. At least, for those of you who possibly feel like if you are educated and you are religious, it should be a plus. No, it is not. It is a curse. If you are really that religious. I mean, you can see all the criminals you have seen so far, right? So, under Bokwari, people were being kidnapped en masse. People were selling their properties to pay ransom to terrorists. Then a man who was appointed as the Minister for Communication, they said everybody must go and get NIN, BVN, MMN, DUNN, and every other NNN they can get. People started getting them. They said it's for security. If you don't have them, you cannot register your mobile line. And if you don't have a mobile line, you probably can never really, operate or exist, kind of, right? So it was meant to curb terrorism. They even made law. Remember, they actually had a law. And that law was that, nobody negotiates with terrorists. They said people shouldn't negotiate with terrorists. If you pay ransom or transfer money to terrorists, you are considered as a, as an enabler, and you will be arrested. And you will be jailed for not less than 15 years. And under Bokwari, like I said, where over 60,000 people, 63,000 people were killed, you can multiply that number by 10. That would be the number of those kidnapped in Nigeria during the year under review. So Issa Pandemic became a minister. And when the terrorism became so huge and people will never stop talking, I remember he's a terrorist apologist himself, all right? He's a recruiter as well. And I say this with a very, very factual, confidence. However, the first you see there is opposition planning to bring down Buhari, hyping insecurity in Nigeria. That was Issa Pandemic. We were talking. But if you try anything against it, in fact, things got to a stage whereby people started encouraging self-defense. That people should defend themselves. Don't wait to be killed. That was considered as a threat to northern Nigeria. When they decided to set up Amotekun, for example, it was considered a threat to northern Nigeria. We saw all of that under Bokwari. Today, where Pandemic is now ex-minister, is now raising money for terrorists. They are raising money for terrorists. Arewa is raising money for terrorists. Right before our very eyes, all of us watching it. But that is not the end in itself. Is a means to an end. Suddenly, they wanted Tifnumbu, the one that told them that he will continue from where Bokwari stops. And he has done that. They massacred people in Benue. They killed people, they massacred people in Plateau. They killed people in Benue. They massacred people in Taraba. We have, sometimes I think I should add it too. Okay? In case some of you probably don't really know. You see this act of terrorism that says, that is not limited to northern Nigeria. It's also reigning supreme in Cross River State, in Akwa Ibom. You see that of Cross River is even worse because they share border with Cameroon. All right? Just recently, the Cameroon terrorists, okay, they jumped and crossed into Nigeria. And guess what? They slaughtered more than 80 people. I don't know why that didn't even make the news and cause reaction as it should. Cross River, Calabar, Akwa Ibom, Bauchi. Okay. Yeah, Cross River, Calabar is their capital. So, Cross River State, the act of terrorism there are refugee people who have run away from their communities in Cross River State. Refugees in Cross River State as you are watching this video. But it's actually not really, same thing with Ogun State. However, all of this, everyone watched Bokwari, APC, Egbekegbe, Pastor Ruga. Everyone watched them institutionalized terrorism in Nigeria. And that is why some people are now saying, if terrorists have been so emboldened to the point that they have invaded the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria, Abuja. How many times have I spoken to all of us here about the kidnappings going on in Abuja? Now, this particular one happened in Abuja as well. Boko Haram and his gang, they set up what they called Operation Safe Corridor to rehabilitate repentant terrorists. How far has that helped? How far? It has further emboldened them, okay? To the point that where all the ransom money, people who used to sell their properties, majority of them have no properties to sell anymore. Now, let's talk about the story. The one that is now making the, making the Arewas, the hypocritical Arewa, to begin to gaslight everyone. Is because a Muslim family has been kidnapped in Abuja. And the terrorists that kidnapped them, they were demanding for 115 million naira. The family, during the operation where they were kidnapped, there was a brother to the man who was said to have gone to call the police. And then the police and the kidnappers engaged themselves. At the end of the day, the brother was killed and the man was eventually kidnapped and his 5 girls. Do you remember what I told you about Nigeria? And then may Nigeria not happen to you, may Nigeria not happen to me. And sometimes a lot of them, they just feel like it is it's kind of like a slight word against Nigeria in a way. May Nigeria not happen to you, may Nigeria not happen to me, but Nigeria will happen to all of us eventually, directly or indirectly. But the way Nigeria happened to us varies. There are some that when Nigeria happened to you, you may never live to tell the story. Others, when Nigeria will happen to you, if you live to tell the story, you will have a scar to show for it. It is simply because the corruption and incompetent leadership that you have in Nigeria has put the lives of everybody in danger, whether you are a northerner, a southerner, a Christian, or a Muslim. If you get sense, everybody is in danger, whether you are rich or you are poor. If you are poor, it's even worse for you. Do you understand? We are all disasters waiting to happen. You can keep flicking your fingers over your head 1 million times. As long as Nigeria continue to exist this way, we are all disasters waiting to happen. See all of us who are here today. Now, those of us who survived yesterday, do you understand? And yesterday's survivors, they are today's victims. Today's survivors, they are tomorrow's victims. You may not know when it's going to be your turn or my turn, but when it eventually happens, you may never live to tell this story. They kidnapped the man and took his girls. That was when the negotiation for their release began. Ransom, they have to pay ransom. So amount of money. Remember, they've already lost a member of the family during the kidnapping, where have you? Then they took money to the kidnappers so that they can negotiate with them and say, this is how much we have, please take it from us, release him and the girls to us. On their way, they just told them, you know what, listen, drop the money, so place, and go to so place, you will see one of the girls there. So in that same speed and that same state of mind, the family and those who went on to drop, they rushed down to the location. When they got there, they met one of the girls, the one next to her father. Nabia. They executed her and dropped her body for them to be buried. So they took the body back to Abuja. And as Muslims, they had to bury that was when they screamed out for help. They begged the public to please help them raise at least 80 million. Abi? So they begged the public 85 million naira. That was where the Arewa influencers jumped on it, started gaslighting everybody. Why have you not talked? Peter Obi donated money to some people. Why has Peter Obi not donated? None of them wanted to. None of them is yet mentioning the real people who are responsible for their protection. The real ones that promise them safety, only if they will kind of follow APC for another 80 years. And do you know what? The minister of, hang on. Tifnumbu is the grand commander of the armed forces. They have been slaughtering, these Fulani terrorists have been slaughtering from village to village in the Middle Belt for the past 6 months. Over 500 people have been slaughtered, killed by these terrorists in the last 7 months alone. And the number of people kidnapped, you don't want to know. In the last 7 months. Kolu Tifnumbu has never been to any of those places, ever. He would never visit any of those places as well. You have Bokwari Pro Max. And you know what Bokwari is, Abi Bokwari was. You are now acting surprised that Kolu doesn't give a shit about you. Everybody knows nobody gives a damn about you. But do you also know that the National Security Advisor, NSA, made, the ones that you celebrated, Nuhu Ribadu? Yeah, he's your NSA, National Security Advisor. What happened to that? You see? It's not about you, it's about them. Abi? Okay. Who is your Minister of Defense again? Remind me. And then the one that is also the State Minister of Defense, Matawale. They are all from the northern Nigeria. They have the capacity to deploy the military. And all of the one in charge of the DSS. The one that can track you down, even if you are using a faceless account on social media to criticize the criminal government. They will track you down and they will arrest you and they will lock you up and then disobey the courts. What about the DSS? What is that one's name? Bishi? What is his name again? So they are not calling them because the agenda must agend. I was told that some of these people called influencers, Arewa influencers, they were even demanding for a court if they want them to promote this. Like, how much are you going to pay us? We cannot just go and promote this. So people that are kidnapped, that they are trying to negotiate their freedom. Then from nowhere, from the blues. Okay, yeah, they started fundraiser. And they started saying they were going to start a protest. They will protest in Abuja. They will protest in Kano. They will protest in Kaduna. But they won't tell you the time or the day because of these people. They now opened GoFundMe to raise 60 million naira. And they needed that money so bad. Or the terrorists said they will kill the remaining girls as well as their father. And they can't let that happen. You know. So they decided to go public and do crowdfunding. Ladies and gentlemen, they are now public. Before, people will sell their properties. Some will go and borrow money as ransom. Now, Arewa, that witnessed and supported the institutionalization of terrorism in Nigeria, they are now using social media to raise money, ransom money, that once the money is completed, they will take all the money and give it to the terrorists. And they can come back and say, thank God they have been released, though. Everybody that donated, God will bless you. God will say, God will be, and, you know, we can now wait for the next people that will be kidnapped. I actually would wish that Arewa is raising fund for these kidnapped NYSC coppers. Do you know that these coppers were going to Sokoto to go and serve Nigeria? And they were kidnapped. And it has been, it's been 143 days now. Do you understand? Benin to Benue is this one, where this one is going. They're asking for 50 million. The others who are going to Sokoto, those who are going to Kogi, Abi, what have you. Now, one single boss, the terrorists took. They have been in the terrorist captivity for the past 142 days. The female students of Federal University of Gusau in Zamfara, over 40 of them were kidnapped months ago. They've released some of them after ransom paid, but half of them are still with the terrorists today. So Arewa influencers now started gaslighting everybody. We are talking about children here. We are talking about let's leave all of that behind. Let's leave all of this Buhari, let's leave that. Let us come together and save this family. Are you fucking mad? You're mad. You and who come together and say what family? How many families have you actually publicly raised ransom for to save? Okay. They will get the money because the terrorist sympathizer Issa Patantami, Issa Pandemic, has announced that his friends offered to pay 50 million out of the remaining 60 million. And they have been so happy. God bless you, minister. God, Nigeria minister raised 50 million as part of 115 million ransom demanded by terrorists publicly. In case if you have no idea where Nigeria is headed, you might need to sleep 7 sleep that they said the real man's, sleep. If you have no idea what is going on, right? But on the other hand, I remember what Sekou said. When Sekou said, if Nigeria is to break, if Nigerians are to break this shackle of slavery, when the revolution starts, it has to be 2 revolutions in northern Nigeria alone. But because we know the hypocrisy, we call it out all the time. This is not that yet. But I would love to see them go out there and do their protest. But you see those in the South, especially those ones that didn't support Emilokon, Tifnumbu, they were like, no, it's not happening. No, it's not happening. You see these tears. Now 8 years, all of us go tear them. You see this Muslim tickets. Now 8 years, back now go take enjoy them. Anybody will try, will come out anywhere that they are protesting against Tifnumbu, Omo, they go stage another protest in southern Nigeria. Now Tifnumbu's people will be saved if you give them Tifnumbu, you know, go take them 1 minute to finish him. You understand? Like, just give these Nigerians, give them Tifnumbu. They grab them, right? Wow. It's over. But because they said the Arewa that continue to tolerate these terrorists, gaslight the rest of the country, simply because they believed that anybody who asked Bokwari to do his job or resign or go away, save the lives of these people, including the lives of the Arewas, they were considered as enemies of Nigeria, enemy of the North. And there's nothing they won't call you. And we also call them every name too. Oh, no lie. Here you get a lot of you have different names for them in northern Nigeria too, because of the way they tried and looked away when people were bleeding from the swords and bullets of the terrorists. They kept saying, as long as Bokwari is still there, as long as they still have that power, as long as what have you, yeah? And I know that a lot of us call them names. Me, I didn't call anybody names that is not right. So, here you get now. Because during that time, that 8 years, I was able to identify everyone, every species inside this PC. And I have list of names, you know, like the Buhari Dins, the Buhari Diderins, the Buhari Denotus, the Buhari Dijatus, the Buhari Shukus, the Ungozi Aris, the Uneka Aris, the Unamdi Aris too, because I've seen some of them who are Unamdi Aris too, not our own Unamdi Kanu. You have the obedient fools, the sophisticated morons, the humbled slaves, the Lagos Abobakus, Oshogbo Alimajiris, the crumb eaters, the crumb chasers, the ass lickers, the all risers, the bat idiots. Now that you do have them, but back then we do have, Sai barbarians, Buhari idiots too, and like the list is like endless. The names I gave to them, those who were trying to, as long as Bokwari is the press idiots, anybody we no like Nigeria should go to Cotonou. Is that not what they were telling us then? So what these Southerners are now saying is that anybody we no like how Tifnumbu is fighting terrorism in Arewa, they can go to Niger Republic. If you stage any protest, they will stage another one. Say, everybody die here. That 8 years, everybody go learn. I don't support that. No, me, I don't. Because we are talking about using that next 8 years, as some of you say, all of us die here. But no. Because to me, that means some of you are still having that affinity, believing that, that theory of when somebody is from your tribe and is the one ruling Nigeria or in charge as president, it doesn't matter what he does. It doesn't matter how the country goes. He must remain there. That ideology. I'm not saying it still doesn't exist though, because some of you are already saying it. Not because you love Tifnumbu or you like him. But if it is going to show the North that if they can defend Bokwari when Nigeria was bleeding, and because Nigeria is still bleeding now, under Tifnumbu, now on Consemo will protest. No, we know they do that one. That means you are still having an attachment to the fact that a Southerner is your president, as if to say, now you make him president. Now, you know that attachment, like, no, not like that. I just want to. You don't have to. But if we now and these people, what if they now take the power to themselves? That is why you must actually like decide how you want to get involved. You know, when they said there should be a revolution, we said, una better make sure say you are very clear about the revolution, so that una go do revolution, they go kill here, kill there, only to open your TV later and just see the same faces again and said, we are on your side. If you like that, like, what? We thought we got rid of all these guys. Yeah, but it's on our side when the revolution started. Because all it takes is just for a general to say, we're on the side of the people. Once the revolution starts like that, you begin to see some of those who are supposed to give the order that they should kill you. They will just say, oh, maybe I say this no go work. Oh, yeah, let's tell them that we're on their side to boost their rank. Say, yes, the military is on our side. Thank you very much. The military and all of that. Then they will take power. And they just say, fellow Nigerians. Say, what? Who is that? They say, it's the military guy that supported us during the revolution. They said they will give power back to us in another 6 months. They say, what? They need to buy in. So you have to define your involvement. So you understand that to be like, okay, yeah, if I'm going to get involved in any kind of revolution, okay, I know why they get involved. So we have to kind of clear it. So that if Northern Nigeria want to do revolution and the rest of that, it should be a revolution that will lead to the breakup of Nigeria. And I know that that is a no-no to an average Arewa. He's been brainwashed to believe that they cannot survive without Nigeria. Or they cannot survive. They cannot survive without Nigeria. But they can survive very well. The reason why everybody is feeling like they can't survive without Nigeria is because the kleptomaniacs, the criminals who are holding everybody's commonwealth, they are from every tribe, every ethnic, every religion in Nigeria today. So you can easily identify those who are yours. So the first revolution is to break up Nigeria. The second revolution up north is to chase all your criminal jihadist terrorist leaders, chase them across the border. And as they are running away, you tell them to take their fake Islam with them. All right? Because what you have in northern Nigeria, especially Sharia North, is a brainwashed Islam. Do you understand? A brainwashed fake religion. That's what it is. A religion of violence, religion of blood, religion of terror. All of this that you are witnessing is because all these criminals allowed it. So when you finally break away from Nigeria and you have your own Arewanistan, Arewa Republic, because now you go decide that. Yeah, like Afghanistan. So if you want to be Arewanistan or you want to be Arewa Republic, so it will be, your destiny will be in your hand. So that will be the second revolution for them. We won't have to do two revolutions with them. So instead of you to feel like, we are not going to let them remove Tinubu. Like, if they do protests in northern Nigeria, we'll do protests and support Tinubu. In 2027, we'll vote for Tinubu again. Baba, see, I have told you this before. Politics is not a game. It's not Real Madrid versus Barcelona. It's not for cloud too. Are you with me? Politics is real life. 7 months ago, I believe that there are still some people who believe that Boko Haram, who institutionalized terrorism in Nigeria, that maybe when somebody else came, even those of you who are not from northern Nigeria, from southern Nigeria, are you not disappointed? Tinubu was going to appoint he's going to appoint brainiacs. He's going to appoint intelligent people. Where are the intelligent people? They dropped bomb and bombed the place in Kaduna. Everybody raked. Tinubu no move. That is the way they will mistakenly drop a bomb somewhere else as well. And it may just be somewhere crowded in southern Nigeria. A die given here. So you all kind of need to reflect on that, okay? Because to me, I'm not saying that you know, because they are now saying everybody should go on the street. I was like, yeah, I like that one now. Yeah, well, all right. Oh, yeah, go on the street, shut down Kano, shut down Abuja, shut down Kaduna. More see reactions first. Maybe here you get like the Shiites. Let's see if your own brothers are going to now look away. Ribadu, they go order the military to kill everybody, kill them, those ones, arrest them. You see what the Southern Nigeria stood up for the NSAS, and the rest of you, Arewa, you did your best to ensure that the people of your people never participate. And what was NSAS? What was it all about? It was about police brutality. It was about good governance. It's about things that could possibly have at least little way make a difference today. But what did you do? Because Bokwari was there. They are planning to remove him.